Hello dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So today I will discuss you about the e-waste treatment and its disposal. In the previous lectures of this solid waste management subject, we have already discussed about the types of waste: municipal solid waste, e-waste, hazardous waste and biomedical waste. So in previously I have discussed you about this e-waste. So today I will discuss about the what will happen with this e-waste in our country, how we will deal with the e-waste and how it will be treated, and what type of treatment method should be followed for this e-waste. So first of all, we will discuss about the just the exact meaning of this e-waste. So generally e-waste or electronic waste means some old electrical and electronics equipments that had reached to end of their life. Means those waste, those electronic equipments, those electronic things, now that will be over. Now we cannot use it. Now it will be not much useful. So this is called as e-waste, means those waste which is generated from any electrical equipments, electronic equipments. So it is the in India is now, it is the fastest growing waste stream in the country. This e-waste is the fastest growing waste stream in the country, because due to dependency on the technologies, and we are going to much dependent on technology, and because of that this type of waste is generating too much. E-waste will contains numerous toxins that if we will not disposed in an appropriate manner, it can causes environmental pollution and some health hazards. So this e-waste will contain numerous toxins, all toxins it will contains, and this toxin, if it will be not disposed in an appropriate manner, it will causes environmental pollution and health hazards also. That's why this e-waste is a point of concern, because we are too much depending on technologies, and everywhere due to this ICT technology tools like computers, laptops, mobile phones, smartphones, lots of things are there. So because of that, e-waste generation has been increased. As now we have seen that due to the introduction of 5G has introduced to our country. So in this way, what happened, those mobile phones which are supporting only 4G sim, they are now discarded. Now we have to update our smartphone for 5G updation. So in this way, the dependency, the e-waste generation has been increased too much due to the advancement of technology. So advancement of technology is required, but this e-waste management is also very important parts. That's why to leads to a sustainable environment, the proper disposal and proper treatment is much required, because nowadays there is will be much advancement in technology, and that is also a need of the hour. But their perfect management, their real management, is much required. That's why this e-waste management and e-waste disposal is there. So in this lecture, we will study about the sustainable management of this e-waste. How sustainably this e-waste can be managed means we should do the development, but we will not affect the environment also. We should think about its, whatever the negative effect is created, we should manage it also. So like that, in case of e-waste generation is too much high. But what is the other side to dispose or the treatment of this e-waste should also important. Okay. So now comes to the next point. We have divided the category of e-waste. E-waste is categorized into two categories. First one is the ICT, like ICT tools, information technology and telecommunication equipments, customer electrical and electronics. So information technology and telecommunication equipment, in this, what are the types of waste? First is the centralized data processing. Centralized data processing means those things which has been used in the data processing units. So in that, mini frames is there and mini computers are there. Next is the personal computing. So personal computers like central processing unit with input and output device. Laptop computers, central processing unit with input and output device. Obviously in laptop it will be there. Notebook computer, notepad computer. Next is the printers, including cartridge, electrical and electronic typewriter, copying equipment, user terminal and system. So these are comes under the personal computing. And then in telephone, like telefax, pay telephones, cordless telephones, cellular telephone, answering systems. So all these are coming under the ICT tools like information technology and telecommunication equipments. And in that we have categorized it like centralized data processing, personal computing. So same like that, category 2 is there. So in category 2, consumer electrical and electronic devices are there. So in that, television sets are there. So television set will include the set based on the liquid crystal display, like those television set which work on the LCD display are there. LCD display are there and LED display are there. Next is the refrigerator, washing machine, air conditioner, and in that air conditioner we are excluding the centralized air conditioner plant, fluorescent and other mercury containing lamps. So these all are coming under category 2. Category 1 is all those equipments that is related with the information technology, like the systems, computers we are using personally, or either it is used in office, or for it is used to keep the lots of data management. And next is the electrical and electronics equipments. So in electrical and electronic equipments, all things will come like television set, either LED TV or LCD TV. Next is some refrigerator, fridge, washing machine, whatever the things we are using at our homes, whatever will be the electrical or electronics devices that we are using. So it will comes under the category 2. Fluorescent and other mercury containing lamps are also there. Now comes to the next point. We will discuss about the constituents of this e-waste. So e-waste is consist of more than 1,000 different components that can be categorized as hazardous and non-hazardous. So typically e-waste mainly consists of ferrous metal, plastics, non-ferrous metals. So ferrous metals, plastic and non-ferrous metals. Non-ferrous metal will include the copper, aluminium, silver, gold. So these will be like non-ferrous metal. So and it will be contain some precious metals also like silver, gold, platinum, palladium, approximately, and other components like glass, etc. And next is some plastic component is also there in e-waste, like phthalate plasticizer, brominated flame retard. This will be very much hazardous. So here we have categorized the components, constituents of e-waste into hazardous and non-hazardous. So typically it will consist of some ferrous metal, plastic and non-ferrous metal. And in non-ferrous metal, mostly it will be like copper, aluminium, silver, gold, platinum, and it will be considered comes under the hazardous category. So same for the case of plastic components also. Plastic component in e-waste include phthalate plasticizer, brominated flame retards that are very hazardous in nature. Next, we will discuss about the composition of e-waste. So composition is like CRT tubes are there, cathode ray tubes. So it will be found in television and computers that will contain lead, mercury, cadmium, beryllium, and brominated flame retardants. So a mobile phone or a smartphone contain more than 50 different components. Mobile phone will be having this much of a small mobile phone will contains more than 50 different components, like it will be having base metal, some special metal and some precious metal. So it will be divided into 3 categories: some base metal, some special metal and precious metal. Base metal will have composition is having copper and tin. So same as in case of a special metal, cobalt, indium and antimony. And same like in precious metal, silver, gold and palladium. So these three are there. First is a base metal, base of which this has been made, and a special metal like cobalt, indium and antimony, and precious metal like silver, gold and palladium. The lithium ion battery contains about 3.5 gram of cobalt, and this lithium ion battery is also very much dangerous, and this lithium ion battery is now present in the children's toy. It is in everywhere, and it should be avoided because this lithium battery will contain very high percentage of cobalt, that is 3.5 gram of cobalt. Iron and steel constitutes about 50% of the waste. This will be then followed by plastic, non-ferrous metals and other constituents. Non-ferrous metal consists of metal like copper, aluminium and precious metals like silver, gold, platinum, palladium and so on. Iron and steel is there, that will constitute about 50% of the waste, followed by plastics. Non-ferrous metal is 13%. So plastic is 21% and non-ferrous metal is 13%, and other constituents. And this non-ferrous metal will consist of metal like copper, aluminium and some precious metals like silver, gold, platinum, palladium and all those things. So this is about the composition of this e-waste, means how this what are the main toxic metal is present in the e-waste and how it will be dangerous. So in we will discuss about the handling of e-waste in India. So first of all is the formal sector. In formal sector, it facilitate authorized to deconstruct electronics having capacity of disposing 5 tons per day. So for formally what happened, they have provided the facilities which authorized to deconstruct some electronics that are having capacity of disposing 5 tons per day. And formal sectors will receive e-waste from the producer of services centers or take back scheme, or companies that follows the environmental policies on disposing e-waste. So formally, on paper, we are disposing about 5 tons per day, disposing 5 tons per day of waste. And this formal sector will receive e-waste from the producer of service centers or take back schemes, or some companies that follows the environmental policies on disposing e-waste. The formal sector only follows procedure of dismantling and segregating parts. So what they are doing, they are only doing the dismantling and segregating the parts, and they do not physically dispose of the e-waste. Hence only they will dismantle the parts and they will segregate the part, and next they will recycle the part also. So formal sector is there. They will mainly take waste from the either from the service centers are there or from take back schemes are there, and they will follow the environmental policies on disposing the e-waste. The formal sector only follows procedure of dismantling and segregating part. They do not physically dispose of the e-waste. Informal sector is like that. The informal sector handles e-waste by recycling or final disposal, by either by recycling or by final disposal. There is a whole economic market for e-waste because the parts can be dismantled and the scrap metals can be recycled. So the whole economic part for e-waste is that because the e-waste part can be dismantled or and the scrap metals can be recycled. Some of the methods used by these sectors are acid bath, burning cables and disposing in the landfills. So after the acid bath or wash or after the incineration, this should be disposed in the landfills. So informally, they are handling e-waste by some recycling or final disposal. So there is a whole economic market for e-waste because the parts can be either dismantled and the scrap metals can be recycled. Some of the method of these sectors are generally the acid bath, burning cables, and disposing in landfill. Disposing in landfill. So this is about the informal sector. Informally, how they will manage this e-waste. Formally, they will take the e-waste from any offices, from any service center, and they will do the dismantling and segregating the all the electronic equipments part. Informal sector will handle e-waste by recycling or final disposal. Means they will after the recycling or after the final disposal, they will handle the e-waste. There is a whole economic market for e-waste. Total market is there for e-waste because the parts can be dismantled and the scrap metals can be recycled. So what happened? The electronics equipment parts are there, they can be dismantled and the scrap metals can be recycled. Some of the methods used by these sectors are acid bath, burning cables and disposing in the landfills. So now we'll discuss about the incineration. So methods of e-waste treatment and disposal. Incineration will be like it involves the combustion of e-waste at a very high temperature in specially designed incinerators. So incinerator means combustion of e-waste at a high temperature in specially designed incinerators. So this e-waste disposal method is quite useful and advantageous because the waste volume is reduced and the energy obtained is also utilized separately. So the e-waste disposal method is quite advantageous, and as the waste volume is reduced and the energy obtained is also utilized separately. However, it is also not free from the disadvantage with the emission of harmful gas. Obviously, if you burn CRD tubes, if you burn electronic waste, so the toxic gas will be coming out. So incinerator is sometimes very much dangerous also. Sometimes it will cause us disadvantage is also related with the incinerator capacity, because emission of harmful gases like mercury and cadmium in the environment, because when the e-waste disposal method is quite advantageous as the waste volume is reduced and the energy obtained is also utilized separately. Then after what happened, it when you are burning the e-waste, it will be some emission of harmful gases will be there, and like some mercury and cadmium, and that will be pollute the environment. Okay, so this is all about the incineration, how this incinerator will be working. Next method is the acid bath. So acid bath is like it will be involve the soaking of electronic circuits in the powerful sulfuric hydrochloric acid or nitric acid solution that free the metal from the electronic pathway. So very highly concentrated acid are using like hydrochloric acid HCl, or sometimes HNO3 nitric acid, or some hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So this type of highly concentrated acid has been used for this electronic equipments, and the electronic circuits will be soaked up into this acid, and in this way the metal will be recovered. Metal, it will be free from the metals from the electronic pathway. The recovered metal is used in the manufacturing of other products, while the acids are recovered through various acid recovery processes. The recover metals, the metal which will be recovered from by this acid bath process, is again used for the manufacturing of some products, and these acids are recovered through various acid recovery process. Then we will send these acids for some acid recovery process. So this is again acid bath is again a very important treatment methods for this e-waste, because they recovered metals and it is used for manufacturing of other products, while the acids are recovered through various acid recovery processes. Next method is the landfilling. So most common method of e-waste disposal is the landfilling. Soil is excavated and trenches are made for burying the e-waste into it. An impervious liner is made of clay or plastic with a leached basin for collection and transferring the e-waste to the treatment plant. However, what happened? Landfill is not an environmentally sound process for disposing of the e-waste, as toxic substances like cadmium, lead, and mercury are there, and they are going to be released inside the soil and groundwater. So this landfill is not an environmentally sound. It will be not a good process, because the toxic substance has been released into the environment, and this toxic substance will enters the groundwater. So mostly we are adopting landfill for disposing of the e-waste, but this should not be done. This should not be a good practice, because e-waste will contain toxic metal, ferrous metal, some dangerous metals, some toxic elements. So when it will be put into the landfill, these metal will be released to the environment, or sometimes enters the subsurface water, or sometimes it will enters the groundwater. So this landfilling is not good technology for this e-waste disposal. And on the landfill, the soil is excavated and trenches are made for burying the e-waste into it. Means deep burial will be there for this e-waste. Deep burial, like, but trenches has been made into the landfill. Trenches are there, and the soil is excavated. From trenches, soil is excavated excavated, and then it will be made up of into it, and the impermeable liners is also made into this excavation, into this inside, and it is made of clay or plastic, and with a leached basin for collection and transferring the e-waste to the treatment plant. So a liner will be there, and this liner will be made up of clay or plastic with a leached basin. It will be for the collection and transferring the e-waste to the treatment homes. However, landfill is not an environmentally sound process for disposing of the e-waste, as toxic substances like cadmium, lead, and mercury are released inside the soils and the groundwater. Now comes to the next point. This is about the, we will discuss about the existing rules and treatment of e-waste. So what are the rules that has been existed as per this e-waste management rule 2016? So the e-waste management rule 2016 will be there, and they have given the major contents is like that. These rules are based on the principle of extended producer responsibilities, wherein the producer engaged in the manufacture, sale, and purpose of electrical and electronics equipments is responsible for the end of life management of the electrical and electronic products that will be listed in schedule 1 of the rule. So those waste like e-waste, electrical and electronic waste. So in electrical and electronic waste, what will come? TV, LCD TV, LED TV, refrigerator, washing machine. So it will be like, the rule will be like that. There will be a principle of extended producer, and it is a responsibility where the producer engage in the manufacturing, sale, and purchase of these electrical and electronic equipments. They are only responsible for the end of life management. So the producer is only responsible for the end of life management, and the purchase of electrical and electronic equipments, they are those who are purchasing, or those who are making, or those who are using this electrical and electronics equipments. It is their responsibility to end its life management, and those it comes for the all the products like refrigerator, TV, both CRT or LED TV, washing machine, whatever the electronics equipments will be there. So if they have to do for its, it is the responsibility of the person who are using, or person who are manufacturing or sale. So all these are listed in the schedule 1 of the rule. Next is the procedures are provided for handling e-waste as applicable to all stockholders, as such as collection centers, dismantler, and recycler of e-waste. So producers are provided for handling e-waste, and they are be applicable for all the stakeholders like collection centers, dismantlers, and recyclers of e-waste. Stipulation for reducing the hazardous substance in electrical and electronics equipments are also prescribed. So stipulation is like for reducing these substances in electrical and electronic equipments has been given, prescribed in this format. So procedures and formats for registration of facilities for recycling of e-waste are specified. So procedures and formats for registration of facilities of recycling e-waste has been specified also. Stipulation for reducing the hazardous substances in electrical and electronic equipments has also been prescribed. So these are the rules that has been made under the e-waste management rule 2016, and it will be applicable for the electronics and electronic waste only. Now we will discuss about the conclusion of this waste management and management of this e-waste. So waste management will be refers to the management of waste, management of electronic waste from its generation to segregation, then its final disposal. And this will be required because the management of environment and health, there are many things that need to be taken care into consideration when discussing the waste management, like disposal methods, recycling method, avoidance and reduction methods, and transportation of waste. It is important as it saves the environment from the toxic waste of inorganic and biodegradable elements that is present in the waste. And waste management is becoming more important not just for environment protection but also as a growing industry for the economy. So this is all about the waste management and why this waste management is much required. Waste management is much required because this waste management reduces the effects of waste on the environment and human health and the natural human health and the person that are associated with the vicinity of this area. So there are many things that will be comes under this waste management. So in waste management we have, first is the disposal methods, recycling methods, avoidance and reduction methods. Means where from where, what is the generation source of the waste, what will be the disposal practices, then avoidance, reduction methods, and then transportation of waste. Waste management is important because it will be save the environment from the toxic effects of inorganic and biodegradable elements present in the waste. And it is more important because of the environmental protection, but also as a growing industry from an economy. So this will be very much required. This waste management is very much required because this will be a very growing industry. So in this class we have discussed about the e-waste management. So e-waste is basically divided into two categories. First is the electronic equipments that is related with the household activity like electronics and electrical equipments. Next is all those ways that is connected with the information technology like laptop, computers, monitor, printer, cartridge and everything. Printer, cartridge and everything. So this electrical and electronic equipments are there, though those things that we are using for a normal life like a refrigerator, TV, fridge, in a day to day life. So both has been there, and different practices which is following for the e-waste treatment is the incinerator, acid bath and generally the landfill. So in landfill, we'll do the deep burial, like deep excavation will be there, and inside the excavation, we will put one liner of clay so that it will prevent the leaches to enter the to enters the groundwater. So this will be about the e-waste treatment and its facility that has been practiced in our country. And this e-waste treatment is very much required because e-waste contains very dangerous things. Nowadays we have seen that in news it is coming that in a normal municipal solid waste we will find some dangerous radioactive waste, because e-waste is contains some radioactive waste also. So some radioactive waste, cobalt, some uranium has been also found in the some municipal solid waste, and that has been very much uh, handled with some unskilled labor, some normal rag pickers. So it will be very much dangerous. Like nowadays battery, lithium ion battery will contain cobalt, so this cobalt is also coming under radioactive substances. Like this, it should be a very much carefully taken for the treatment of e-waste. So now comes to the next thing. This is about the references, that are the references of some of the textbook that you can go or you can follow for the further study, because in this textbook is the very good books for environmental studies, and you will find all this topic in details in this book. So if you want to do deep study, if you want to go depth analysis of these topics, you can follow this text. So now I'm ending my lecture with the conclusion. Like e-waste is a very dangerous waste. E-waste has been generated from all the electronic equipments, all the electronic things, and all the electronic equipments will come under e-waste. So due to our dependency on technology, due to development of technology, this e-waste generation is also increased. So because of increase in the e-waste generation, this it's a perfect treatment and disposal method is also required, because e-waste is very much dangerous. It will contain hazardous waste, sometimes non-hazardous also, but hazardous also, radioactive waste also, cobalt is there, uranium is there. So it's a proper handling and management is also required, and that too is from a skilled level, not an unskilled level, not a just a layman or not a rag picker. So because of that, because and in our country now no fixed rule is there for e-waste. So now we are e-waste, some rules has been given in the 2016 municipal solid waste. Now they are practicing, and now they are treating e-waste properly. So this topic is all about the e-waste treatment and its a proper disposal method. And government has been given under this municipal solid waste rule 2016 the proper treatment and disposal methods of e-waste has been given. In this they have discussed about what to do, and they have made some formal sector and informal sector where they will collect the e-waste that will be generated either from the service center or from the payback centers. So from these they are taking the e-waste, they are dismantling and then segregating all the parts, and then we can recycle or we can reuse all the electronic equipments, all the equipments that is coming from the e-waste. So for today's this is all about the e-waste treatment and its disposal. If you have any query regarding this lecture, if you have any question, you can write on the comment box or you can directly mail me onto my given mail id shikha.pandey@gmail.com. So thank you for today's lecture.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.